allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Manager Layton.
Thank you, Mayor. October 21st is a full agenda. Start off with 3 proclamations and 3 award recognitions. Second page, new business. Item number 1 would approve a project to purchase replacement police equipment in 2026. Next page, number 2, would approve a project to purchase a critical incident vehicle, bomb unit vehicle, mobile command vehicle, and mobile operations vehicles. Number 3 would approve a letter of intent for an IRB issue to remodel an 88,000 square foot office building. Number 4 would approve a letter of intent for the issuance of healthcare facilities revenue bonds in an amount not to exceed $60 million. Number 5 would approve the issuance of revenue bonds to fund up to $60 million in capital improvements for Ascension Via Christi hospitals. Number 6 would approve an amendment to the development agreement with EPC for the development on the west bank of the Arkansas. Number 7 would approve contracts for competency evaluations for municipal court. Next page. Number 8 would approve the reduction in the number of members on the Animal Services Advisory Board. And this has been reviewed by the board. Number 9, I'll take a second on this one. There are actually 3 actions that you'll be taking. The first one has multiple pieces to it, but you would take it as a single action. Consider the adoption of the International Property Maintenance Code, elimination of environmental court, and a new adjudication process for property maintenance cases. The second action would be the adoption of a source of income discrimination ordinance. Excuse me. And the third would be the adoption of a limited rental registration ordinance. Sharon, did I get that right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Would those be bifurcated into 3 independent votes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Number 10 would approve a project to remodel a...
I'm going to go back to that really
Yes,
quick.
yes.
On number 2 action, it does talk about the non-discrimination ordinance. Why was that not added to the NDO back in the day then?
We just never came up. There wasn't discussion of that I can recall.
So this is a completely new idea?
This is a new idea that would be an amendment to the non-discrimination ordinance.
It's not a new idea. It's a problem that we've had for some time. While we were focusing on the NDO, this was being talked about in Lawrence where it was adopted. Our focus was a little different at the time. Once Lawrence adopted it and saw that it was good, then we talked about potentially adding that to ours.
How do you police that?
Sorry?
How do you police that specific?
That's probably a better discussion for the council meeting. I'd have to have, staff that has been involved in this project could talk about that.
In preparation for it, since Councilmember Johnson mentioned Lawrence, we should have some feedback or some data from their implementation of it. I also had heard action number 3, which is the rental registration for basically landlords who have been violators. Have there been other cities that have done something similar? If so, what's the data behind that? In other words, has that helped with providing safe housing in their communities, or has it created an additional barrier that then now they have even more need for housing?
Then one data point question I would be interested in too, are there any landlord protections as well in either 3 of these actions?
I think also looking at, especially landlord protection, state statutes actually give landlords quite a bit of protection. these items allow people just more opportunity to have quality housing. When you look at the state statutes, and I don't have those here with me, but I can send those to you to look at that. But a lot of the problems that we've seen with residents is landlords just have so much ability. I mean, if a tenant were to have an issue and they go to court right now and they're at work, so a lot of these folks are working and they want to move it from a Wednesday at 9:30 to maybe a Monday, and they want to do it and the landlord does not. The landlord has the power to say no. They can't even change a court date without the landlord. So this isn't going to harm landlords in that way. It does give the tenants, again, more opportunity to get that quality housing that they need, whether it's the discrimination piece from some of the landlords who say because you have a housing choice voucher, you're a bad person and they don't want to rent to you. This would allow them to be able to prove that to us that that is happening, give them some justice in that sense. When you look at the registry, it's more than just registering. Oftentimes with out-of-state property owners, we don't even know who to contact. There's a news story where you could see when you looked at Emory Gardens, I think it was Emory Gardens, you had to go through 12 different shell companies to figure out who was even the property manager there. This allows us to have somebody to directly deal with one-on-one, so it's less about penalizing that person and allowing us to actually address concerns, and it gives citizens confidence that we can actually contact these property owners.
I think there'll probably be plenty of points of conversation and disagreement on Tuesday.
Also, while we're on it, since this is item 9 and Arthur Stokes continues to come and he's actually wanting to speak on this item, could we make this item number 1?
I'm fine with that.
It's council prerogative. Mayor?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Then we can break for lunch.
Maybe dinner.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Excuse me. Number 10 would approve a project to remodel a portion of the former central library to serve as an event venue. Number 11 has been continued until the November 6th meeting. Number 12 would approve 2 agreements with Union Pacific Railroad for groundwater treatment operations in the 29th and Grove Environmental Remediation Area. Number 13 would approve the 2026 funding allocations for arts and cultural organizations. At the bottom of that page, non-consent housing agenda number 1 is a monthly report on public housing authority activity. Next page, councilmember travel, which would approve retroactive travel for the mayor. That will actually occur on Monday. The next page.
Just a quick note on that.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking and coming back, so it's literally a in and out of this city. I'm speaking with Mayor of Tulsa at this conference.
On the next page, 3A would, extend an existing lease agreement with Flixbus and Greyhound until the hub is open. And at that time, we'll have a new agreement. Next page, number 7, would approve a revised budget for the Patrol West project. Number 8 would approve a budget for phase 1 of the Crystal Prairie Lake Park project.
Going back to the Patrol West,
Yes.
can you explain why there is a change?
Yes, actually, there are multiple reasons for that. Gary, do you want to speak to that? Or
Sorry, let me find something real quick. Mayor and council members, Gary Jansen. So there were quite a few things that happened with this project. Starting back last summer, when the design contract was first approved, that was the schedule was set based on ARPA funds needing to be encumbered by the end of the year. So it was a very fast-track design contract so that we could get to a point of bidding construction by the end of the year. Sometime around October, the ARPA funds were removed from the project, which allowed more time to be able to make sure we're getting the facility that we wanted. Keep in mind, around October of last year was when the East Police Substation was occupied. That gave everybody time to see what was working, what wasn't, allowed us some flexibility to go past December to really make sure that this new police substation would reflect the needs of PD, especially what they've seen at the East Sub. Also baked into that, there was a desire to look for a room for equipment storage on site at this new West Sub location. That took some time to really vet through, looking at different sizes, a lot of different parts and pieces of that. Took some time to evaluate. Ultimately, the decision was made that it couldn't fit, but that took some time while we were at it. So there was multiple iterations of that design for the storage building, trying to make the size work. It didn't work real well. We chose to take some more time, again, to invest in design to reflect what was seen from the East Sub. So then what also happened during that time frame, the new International Building Code went into effect January 1st. So that was, we had been on the 2018 IBC, the 2024 IBC went into effect January 1st. Which everything going forward is going to be under that building code. So that forced us to take a look with the architect, with our staff, with police department on what that means, and especially with MABCD and the requirements of the new building code, which also bring value. So with the new building code, there are more stringent requirements for public safety buildings. The new standards will increase structural members, just to give you a few examples. To withstand higher wind loads, it requires direct ventilation of storm shelters and CO carbon monoxide monitoring of HVAC equipment, among other things. These code updates will provide a safer and more resilient structure. These would be the same design standards that will go forward with the new fire station, Southwest Fire Station. Our estimate with the architect is likely a cost not to exceed $300,000 as a result of the new code requirements. We believe that's a prudent investment that needs to be made anyway. Even if we had made it through design at the end of last year on an expedited and hurried schedule and went to construction, these improvements we really think are necessary because the building code was getting ready to kick in. So the item before you Tuesday is a request for an additional $500,000. $300,000 of that we think is our estimate for the enhancements from the new building code. The balance of that is for some staffing costs and contingency. So there was multiple items that kind of pushed that schedule out. More than anything, we chose to take more time once the ARPA trigger was removed.
One thing I do want to add, because I had some confusion about this as well, the architect did ask about the ability to since the project was already in design, to waive the new requirements of the code. And I was under the impression, and so Chris Labrum with MABCD gave permission for them if they met a certain deadline. That deadline was not met, but that was because of discussions with staff about the desirability of upgrading, not because of inaction on part of the architect.
Yes, thank you. I
originally
actually had that in front of me and left that out, so thank you. I agree.
And these are standards that obviously now any organization that will build from this moment forward has to abide by, right? The new international code.
Yes, correct.
Thank you, Gary. All right. Where was I? Okay. I think that was, I think we talked about number 8. So
With number 8, can I just get a map of where the trail is so I can visualize it too?
yes.
Just a map. Thank you.
I'd like that too.
The first Prairie Lake,
What?
the first Prairie Lake. Is that what you're looking at? Number 8, did you say?
Yeah. That's what that's what the trail looks like.
And a point of clarification for number 8, again, this is just for the trail, not for whatever the original plan was. Is that correct?
That's correct. This is not for the implementation of all the projects that are included in the master plan. In fact, this is the only money that is in the 10-year CIP for this park, if I remember correctly. Isn't that right?
If
Well,
it
I'll
is-
double check
if
that,
it is,
but-
it's way far,
Yeah. Okay.
and it's not much, it's like 500,000 maybe.
All right. Next to last page, just note that there's 2 public housing authorities properties for sale or for purchase. And then the last page, number 15, would approve a land lease to allow construction of an 18,000 square foot hangar at Jabara. Number 16 would approve a security arrangement for the financing of WSU Tech's NCAD expansion at Jabara. Council member, that's the very last item, the 15 and 16. 16 is the item I think you're concerned about.
And they're both on consent, right?
They're both in consent,
Okay,
yes.
yep, thank you.
Mayor, that's all I have for the 21st. On the 28th, that's a consent agenda. Third page, 3A would approve a contract for illegal dumping cleanup services. 3B, C, and D, those are all agreements for IT security systems. 3E would approve an agreement for WPD's participation in the KDOT Special Traffic Enforcement Program. Next page, number 5, would actually approve the purchase of a critical incident vehicle for SWAT. And the final page, number 9, would approve a contract for the study of the electrical distribution system at Eisenhower. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager. Any comments from council members? I see none. Have a great weekend.